2018. A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes, by Mahatma Gandhi. How was my day yesterday? I spent time with Gudrun in Montbijou Park. I was talking to her pretty much the whole of yesterday's afternoon, and that was a very time-intensive thing that I did. And yet, on the same page or at the same time, I got a lot of relaxation and sun, and I really enjoyed that part. And what else did I do? I was drawing a heptagon, and I was learning how to draw heptagons in a geometrical way, and I tried to replicate the whole thing in the digital world. And I noticed that heptagons are tricky. And then also, like in the evening, I went playing table tennis, and I had a lot of fun doing so. And what else did I do? I worked on the game plan, although it was more of an alibi session. I only did like minor changes, so most of it was reviewing what I have already been doing, and I'm not so happy with that part. And then again, I didn't take very much time working on it yesterday. And I also worked on the island, and similar pattern here. When it comes to the island, I did some sessions, I think like 2 or 3 sessions. And what I did is I created more sketches. And in this case, I played around with the layout, like what area, what building to put on what part of the island. And so taking my paper sketches and transferring them into digital sketches is really what I did here. And I wasn't sure in what way to arrange things, so I tried a few different options. And I really liked that I tried a few different options. And then on the other hand, I want to have the island, and I noticed my own impatience when it comes to this. And so for today, what am I focusing on for today? And I think that's the logical extension of what I shared right now. I want to work on the game plan, I want to work on the island, and I want to finally get into the CMS for the new CMS version, so that I can really have content for pages and let also Corinna do things when it comes to the content. All right. The alternatives that I'm finding on, or that I'm struggling with when it comes to the CMS, is deciding between stream fields on the one hand and going with simple markdown and not caring too much about the rest on the other hand. And I'm really swinging back and forth between these two because stream fields are already working, and I don't like that I cannot just copy paste parts around, which I definitely prefer when it comes to the markdown language. On the other hand, when it comes to markdown, I really dislike that I don't have intuitive fine controls over things. So when it comes to, for instance, changing options for an image, I really want to fine tune what are all the options for that image. And instead, what I get here right now is I can have this definition file where it's setting a lot of parameters for somehow textualizing the options, which really makes more sense to have as a kind of plugin. And like, this is an image and this is how I want it to be. And I think there are some options even for Markdown where if I switch into Markdown mode, even though I am in Markdown mode, I will see some kind of small image plugin, and I click on the image plugin to get all my options. And what I'm actually doing is by setting the options in the plugin pop-up, I'm just hiding the complexity, and the whole thing all these settings will go into the technical description file, which is again just plain text that I can copy and paste around. And that's, I think, my preferred way. On the other hand, having a dedicated place where everything is saved. So pros and cons here, and I'm struggling between these two. For now, I hope that any page is better than no page, and that I will at some point be able to decide, especially with the person, with other, together with other people, taking a look at what are the use cases that we want to cover, that I want to cover, what really makes sense. And I think for now, in the beginning, I really opted a few times already for Markdown for simplicity's sake. And then I realized, oh, but when it comes to Markdown, I don't have this nice suite of already pre-managed images. And when it comes to the CMS that I'm using right now, which is, it already comes with an image management gallery, file management tool. So I could just use all of their tools if I stick with their Streamfield implementation. And I noticed that this is actually not true. This is only true for text content, because what I still can do, even if I have just Markdown, is I can have a page like the About page and then have different images in addition to the text, like fixed images where but these are the images where I know that they have a special place on that page, on that model. So there might be a header image and stuff like that, which is fixed content. And then the Markdown is really just Markdown. And there are no options to set some fancy image option for the Markdown. Markdown will be just content, but I can still have related pages. I can still have many of these things. So thinking about it that way, I'm still going back to I want Markdown. And maybe that's just my decision right now. I'll just stick with Markdown. All right. So these are my thoughts right now. I can already see myself jumping back to, oh, but what about the image library? I still really do like the idea of also being able to use that image library and management system to include images inside of text content, and also defining if it's left-oriented, right-oriented, what size I want the image to be, and all of that kind of stuff. What I do like about Markdown, however, is that if stuff doesn't really work, I can just use HTML to just add a HTML bracket around the image saying, well, this is left-centered, this is right-centered, this is class so-and-so. So there's a lot of options that I still do have. Either way, that's what I want to focus on for today. And I hope especially that for these three things, for the game plan, the island drawing, and for the fixing the CMS issue, that I will make substantial headway, because I have nothing else fixated in terms of appointments. So I want to work in sessions and see how far I get. This is everything from my side for today. I wish you a legendary day. As always, if you have some feedback, I'd love to hear it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, because I believe that the best is yet to come.